Everybody needs Lynn, and I say this with the utmost confidence. Not only because she's really awesome to play with, but you're gonna need her for Immersive Theatre. Let's just quickly take a look at Lynn's kit and what she can do, what her best weapons are, etc, etc. So let's talk about Lynn's skills. The first skill Lynn has is called Deadly Blossom. And what exactly does Deadly Blossom do? Well, as you can see right here, you use your skill, which has kind of like a wide range attack, and if it hits an enemy, he'll be hit with laceration. And laceration is basically like a mark on the target, and every time you hit that enemy, it will build up something called a lacerated wound, which has a cap of 10. And after 8 seconds, however many lacerated wounds are on the target, it's going to deal damage based on how many wounds you have accumulated over that 8-second time period. However, there is something which immediately removes laceration and deals damage once the lacerated wound count reaches its maximum, aka you don't have to wait 8 seconds. Her ult is super fast, so you apply laceration, you apply this skill, then you just bang, 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 bang. 10 stacks, and it will remove laceration, and you can apply Deadly Blossom again. And this, especially when you're like up there with your ult, and you attack super fast, this can deal a ton of damage. It's just how effectively you use it, basically. And speaking of her ult, let's talk about it. Her ult is awesome. It is like a ramp-up system. So you get attack speed based on how many hits you've done. So with every single attack, you're gonna ramp up, and eventually you're gonna bang, 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 bang. So I've seen a lot of people talk about what's better, skill efficiency or skill duration. And me personally, I gotta be honest, I haven't found the answer quite yet. I don't believe it matters that much in her damage department, whether you choose for skill duration or skill efficiency. The only difference between skill efficiency and skill duration is that with skill duration, the passive becomes longer, and the passive gives you quite a lot of boost to your damage in that time frame where the passive is up, right? And skill efficiency will make it so your sanity will drop down slower compared to not having as much skill efficiency or having skill duration. So me personally, I like to have a bit of both, but if you go with one or the other, I don't believe it matters that much. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, but that's what I believe. How does her ult work? It is basically just you get an attack speed boost per stack, and you stack by firing. So you're gonna start off slow and you're gonna ramp up. There's nothing too insane about it. Just stand at a place where you can see everybody. That's the biggest part. Other than that, nothing too special about this skill, other than it's really good. And the passive, however, is pretty important. I will actually show it to you. Let's go here. You see this like revolver rounds, right? In the bottom half of the screen. If you shoot in your ult or your weapon, by the way, melee doesn't count, only your weapons, only your long range. If you shoot, you're gonna see a timer pop up, right? You see 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds. In this time frame, you will get a boost based on the number of stacks you have. So see, 1, 2, 3, I'm not shooting, 4, 5, and 6. So for every single bullet that's in there, you're gonna get more damage. Now, is this skill important? Yes, it is, because you're gonna deal a lot more damage. Or is this passive important? Yes, it is. However, if you, for example, have 6 stacks and you do this, you get the buff, you're going to your ult, you're gonna ramp up, ramp up, ramp up. Eventually, the timer's gonna run out right now. What you can... This deals a ton of damage, right? Because I finally ramped up to my max potential. But if you stop and you're gonna like reload this again and again, you're gonna have to ramp up again. Let me put it like this. If there is enough sanity in the room to keep going in your ult, then don't stop. I don't see a reason to stop. But if there is a lack of sanity, so let's say you are fighting a boss, for example, and you don't get your sanity back quickly, then it is better to take calculated damage, so use your sanity wisely, and only use it when you have this buff up, and then wait, get your sanity back, wait till you have all stacks, and do the most amount of damage with the least amount of sanity. That's what I think. So, the attribute details, it gives you 13.9% damage boost per stack, so as you can see, that's quite a lot of damage. Like 6 times 13.9 is, what's that? That's 83.4. 83.4%, which is quite a lot, right? And it lasts for 9 seconds. Pretty freaking good. The only thing is, you can't fire. So, you have to wait for it to reload, and you can do damage with your melee, but you're missing out on a lot of damage in that time. So, that's as far as the skills go. Let's now talk about the weapons. And I think Wraith, for example, is a really good weapon for her. Because it delivers skill damage. And skill damage, well, her ult is considered skill damage, so it's just a great weapon to have. Anything that gives skill damage, skill duration, skill efficiency is, in my opinion, a good thing to have. I don't know if you guys know this, but the weapon skills, if I remove this, it's gonna affect my character. So, if I remove the skill damage, right? Or if I remove the Wraith and remove it or replace it with this one. Now I have skill damage 148%. If I equip it again, I have 172. So even if you're not going to use the weapon, you should definitely equip a good weapon on her, because it definitely helps. And as in terms of other options, I would say probably Tether Slash or Pyro Thirst are probably the best ones, besides Wraith. There are other options that are pretty good in the melee department, but in the ranged weapon department, this one is by far the best. Because not only does it give skill duration plus 15%, which is nice, it also, when you hit an enemy, gives dual pistols damage increase by 45% for 15 seconds. And what weapons are considered dual pistols? You guessed it. The weapons in her ult. Hansel and Gretel are considered dual pistols. So this weapon makes a huge difference in damage. Like huge. So definitely try to get this as soon as possible on your Lynn. I also quickly want to go over something that is also super relevant, which is the demon wedges. Like I said, with the skill duration, skill efficiency, I like to have a bit of both. With inspo giving me skill efficiency, you can also go for like a full eternity set or full inspo, which is fine. I just like to have a bit of both. It is whatever, right? Then Inferno Midnight Sun just gives you pyro attack, skill damage, which is awesome just overall, and skill duration. Then Ifrit's Devouring Wildfire also gives you 30% skill damage, which is quite a lot. And also, you have this, which says, when a pyro character deals damage, gain 1 stack that increases attack by 1% for 15 seconds up to 120 stacks. With her ult, which attacks so fast, this is a really, really good demon wedge. Now as for Vigilant, this one doesn't really matter that much. Just have whatever, basically. Blaze, I like to have an attack percent buff. and it fits within my tolerance. And then for the prime module, quickly, I want to go over this. Use prime morale on your DPS. I'm not kidding, this makes a lot of damage difference. Because you might think, what does morale even do? You can see it here in the view attribute info. Morale. The higher the HP percentage, the higher the damage dealt. Which means that without morale, prime morale, you're gonna deal a lot less damage to bosses compared to if you have it on. So this is really, really important to have. Like, I'm not kidding. This is super important. And the reason why you don't put Serenity, which gives you sanity, or uplift, which gives you damage dealt, is because you can just put these two on your supports and she will also get that buff. So there is no reason to put anything other than morale on there. Besides, if you are fighting the Nocturnal Echo weekly boss where you only have Lynn, I would probably put Serenity on, because then she will lack a lot of sanity if you don't have that on her. So yeah, that's the only way I can see morale being worse than Serenity, even though it's a boss. But yeah, morale is just the better one, in my opinion. Leave a comment if you think otherwise or if you disagree. Now, for the weapons, I don't give a shit about these two. You're not going to use them at all, basically. This is just the only weapon you're going to need. You can level this up. Yeah, it's fine. And you're going to use these two maybe on some other characters. I don't know. I just have whatever on them. I don't care. But for this is the reason why I love Lisbel. I love Lynn. Because they have something called a consonance weapon, which only needs these demon wedges, which are super easy to obtain. Like, I'll tell you how to get them in a second, but these are super easy. It's just ridiculous. Now, Celerity gives you attack speed plus 25%. I mean, I kind of like that on my ult. Just ramp up even faster. And you can also use your passive more effectively. Because if you have your attack speed up, you're gonna get more attack speed from your ult, and then you're gonna get more damage out of that. So I like to have Celerity on there. Rage, this one can be debatable, but I like to have crit damage plus 50%. This goes, by the way, over the crit damage stat that is the base stat. So the base is 150, so you're not gonna get 50%, but you're gonna get 75, right? You can see it goes to 150 if I take it off, because 50% of 150 is 75, so you get the gist of it. And the same way goes for, I had, what other one did I have? I had Focus on earlier, but 50% of 12% is 6%. I'm sorry, but I'll take a 12% 225% crit damage over a 18% 150. Sorry, but I just like to have that. I'm a gambling man. Spike attack, just really awesome to have. And then just basic attack buff. And then also attack 75%. Attack is super important with this weapon as well. So, that's basically it for her demon wedges. How do you get these demon wedges? These demon wedges you get through the demon wedge path right here. You can just go to demon wedge casket. I like to do this especially. Just go to ranged weapon, or ranged weapon characters, characters, and you're gonna look up, for example, you want Prime Serenity or Prime Morale for the red character, the pyro character. You're gonna do this, Noctojäger manual level 50. You're gonna find it right over here, this one, right? Just by playing any of these, you're gonna get this one. You're gonna get any of these. So you're gonna have to get a bit lucky. Now for the other ones, you also have to get lucky. So for example, this one right here is pretty hard to get, right? The, where is it? The wildfire one. It is relatively hard to get because you don't have any stages that are like specific to a certain pyro, hydro. So you're gonna have to get really lucky to get this specific one. Luckily, you only need one, with the inspo, for example, which I showed you, you need like 3 or 4. Luckily, at level 65 or level 70, level 65, yeah, you have specific types of battles. So as you can see, the Pyro one will only grant you either the basic ones, which do not require you to have a Pyro character. You can slap these on Pyro, Hydro, whatever, right? But these you can only put on Hydro. These you can only put on Pyro. But if you play the Pyro stage, you're only gonna get the Pyro Demon Wedges. And these ones. So your chance of obtaining the Inspo one is like really big compared to getting this particular one, right? So yeah, it takes a bit of time, but it isn't that hard, like, to be honest. And the other ones for the weapon are even easier to get. You can go to Demon Wedge Display, Ranged Consonance Weapon. You just click this, bang, 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 Spindle of Fate. You can get these. Easy. Just play this mode right here. Go to Events. Go to Mystic Maze. And right here in the Mystic Maze, in the shop, you can get the Consonance Weapon for the close ranged Demon Wedges and for the ranged Demon Wedges. And this one you're gonna need for your Lynn. Super easy. Like, if you just play one round, you're gonna get enough to get a whole weapon just maxed. It is ridiculously easy to build. So, I think they've done an awesome job with putting those things in the shop there, which I think is really great. So, who can you use as Lynn's supporting characters? There are a couple of options. The first one is gonna be the MC. Because her buff actually gives a weapon damage bonus 43%, which is quite a lot. And also her second passive gives another 8%, which is 51% total. Can you shut the fuck up? Thank you. That's basically it. It's probably not the best, but it's definitely very, very good. If you come over to Truffle and Filbert, for example, also a really important overall buffing character. Because... no, not this morale boost, the buff. Yeah. The buff or her damage. Is it the damage? It's the damage, right? It's the damage. Okay. She gives a 61% damage boost. Although the damage boost is a bit shorter compared to the MC, it's still a shit ton. So not only weapon, but everything. 61% damage boost. Quite a lot. So Truffle and Filbert also a really, really good character to have. Someone else you could use, Daphne. Let me see where she is. Daphne. There she is. Daphne also very, very good because of her second passive. Her second passive gives a crit chance of 40%, which is great. And also her healing is very, very nice to have in your team. Because in your ult you can't move, so the boss can do quite a lot of damage. So Daphne's healing helps quite a ton, I'm not gonna lie. Which is really nice. Another character you could use is probably Tabithy. Because she gets skill damage boost. I don't know if she's the best. I would probably prefer somebody else. Because... I mean, skill damage boost 36%, skill damage boost duration 9.2 seconds. It's nice, right? But I think the other characters have more in terms of survivability. That's really important in Immersive Theatre. That I would prefer Daphne, Truffle and Filbert and the MC over her. And did I miss anything? Oh yeah. This character is so underrated, by the way. I've seen so many people use her. She is the most useless DPS, but as a supporting character, she gives 45% attack bonus to your allies and another 40%, so 85% attack bonus. And that is actually a shit ton. Like, I'm telling you guys, if you use her purely as a supporting character, she can work 100%. 100%. So those four, I would say, with Tabity as a maybe 5th character you can use. And yeah, your DPS will skyrocket if you use them correctly. If you guys want any tips or any videos on how to use or how to build those characters, let me know. I'll be happy to make those videos as well. But yeah, let's move on to the Geniemons. Miraculous Bro Boxy is just awesome because you're gonna get more loot. So if you're farming, use this guy. He's just way better than everything else. If you're going for like attacking, or if you want to get the most damage, then I'd probably say this guy. Now for the Introns, I quickly want to go over that. The Introns, which ones are worth going for? Now 3 and 5, like most gacha games, they just give levels to your skills or your ult or your passive. They aren't that spectacular, but they're pretty good. Intron level 1 grants 6 stacks of preload when battle starts and increases morale by 35% for 30 seconds. This is pretty good, right? Because morale, like I said, gives you more damage against the higher HP the enemy is, which is great against bosses for 60 seconds, right? So this, not that important, but the morale increase is pretty good. Intron level 2, during Gunpowder Revelry, the ult, reduce damage taken by 30%, pretty good because you don't have that much mobility in your ult, you just can't move unless you use your skill. And decrease the interval of getting the attack speed boost to 0.06 seconds. Now this is why if you have Intron level 0, you're not going to ramp up as fast as I can because my attack speed boost is going to get there faster than you. So this one is also really important to get the most damage out of your Lynn. 3, like I said, not that important. 4, however, is really good. Increases damage dealt to targets with HP percent lower than 70% by 35%. Like, that is insane, especially for bosses. And I believe 6 is also ridiculous. During Gunpowder Revelry, when triggering bonus effect using Hanzo and Gretel, inflicts laceration on the target for 8 seconds. Oh yeah. So you don't even have to use the skill. It's just gonna get... Basically, the skill is integrated in your ult. So this skill basically becomes useless because the skill is integrated. Bro, the amount of damage you can do with this is probably ridiculous. So I probably want to go for the 6th dupe, but for now 4 works until Act 11, I believe. I believe I'm at Act 12. Yeah, I'm at Act 12. I just can't seem to get this. This boss is ridiculous. But when I reached Act 6, the difficulty spike was insane. Then I beat Act 6, and then Act 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 were a joke. Like, why... Maybe that's for another video, but why is it that Act 6 is that hard, and then Act 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 are easy as shit? I don't get it, but yeah, that's for another video. So, yeah. I mean, let's jump into, like, a realistic case of how you would use her to get the most damage out of your character, right? Out of your Lynn. I think that's pretty important to see the actual rotations on how to use her. So, like I said, if you hit someone with your weapon, with your normal weapon, you're going to get skill damage. So you want to use that. You also want to use this or make it so it's full. Of course, you don't have to, but it is pretty important, especially when you have like sanity cost, which I talked about. So if you want the most damage you can get, focus on this, then attacking somebody with your weapon. Then another really quick tip. If you stand, for example, right here, right? And there are enemies there. You can't hit them. But what you can do is helix jump into the air. Like this. So, I'm assuming you know how to helix jump. The helix jump is just this. Right? But where you look is where you're gonna jump. So if you look up, you're gonna jump up. And if you press your ult right there, you're gonna see the whole like area instead of just like this area. When you're standing right here, you can't see that, right? So what you want to do is use your, like, go into the air, jump, shoot, ult, and then just go around and shoot whoever is basically there, right? And you can even use your support. I have the wrong support right now. You can use your Geniemon. Use laceration if you're fighting a boss. And then you're just gonna murder people. I'm telling you guys. I can even show you it in the actual event tab. Let's go into Immersive Theatre and just show you in Act 12, I guess. Why not? So let's say you go onto here, right? I like this spot in particular because I can stand on it and I can see a lot more also from people who are like there, back there. So I do this, and I'm not even using the weapon here, but this character is just so ridiculous that I don't even need it with an I4. Well, that's how you use her. No, but in all seriousness, this character is ridiculous, and just build her, man. She's insane. Also, quick tip: don't be a dumbass like I was. You don't have to do this. I was doing this for like a good 2 days, and then I found out you can just hold it instead of doing this, because your hand probably can't keep up and you're gonna get your wrist sore. So yeah, don't do that. So yeah, that's how I got through Act 6 and went on to Act 11. And yeah, man, Lynn is just a ridiculous, awesome character, and I definitely highly recommend you build her because she's just amazing, man. If you enjoyed this video, maybe leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.